Go to Bermuda.com.
Tonight, several breaking stories. President Trump's Supreme Court nominee in turmoil. Judge Brett Kavanaugh's accuser now saying she is ready to testify, ready to go public. Tonight, what she's accusing him of, and now Kavanaugh himself saying he will testify. And tonight, one key Republican saying Brett Kavanaugh has told him he wasn't even there. Also breaking at this hour, the deadly tornado just touching down, the images coming in as we come on the air. The emergency playing out from multiple tornadoes now, all part of Florence. And tonight, the story behind that incredible moment. The military Humvee underwater, 4 people, including a Marine, rescued. Tonight, the outrage after multiple explosions outside Boston, homes erupting into flames. This evening, the gas company still with no explanation. Families told they can go home, outraged, asking, would you feel safe returning? Woody Allen's wife, Soon-Yi Previn, breaking her silence. The first interview in more than 25 years. And now making allegations against her adoptive mother, Mia Farrow, and Mia Farrow's other children tonight, now responding. The deadly shark attack off Cape Cod. What we've now learned about the young man who was engaged to be married, who was killed. His friend on what happened on that boogie board the moment the shark struck. And tonight, Diane Sawyer and Sally Field. What we never knew. What she endured as a child in her own home. And the strength to carry on.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and we are back from the hurricane tonight, though Florence, that storm system still raging, deadly tornadoes late today, and we'll get to that in a moment. But first, the other breaking story as we come on the air tonight, the accusations involving Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Tonight, his accuser now ready to go public, ready to testify, and now Judge Kavanaugh says he will testify too, both in front of the American people. That hearing now set for a week from today. Just days before the committee was set to vote his nomination thrown into peril when Christine Blasey Ford went public with her claim. She says Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her when they were in high school some 35 years ago. This is an image of her from that time. She says at one point she was afraid he would inadvertently kill her. Tonight, Kavanaugh allegedly saying now he wasn't even at the party in question. And what the president is now saying tonight. Terry Moran, who has covered the Supreme Court for years, leading us off.
Today, with his Supreme Court nominee in peril, President Trump backed Brett Kavanaugh to the hilt.
He is one of the great intellects and one of the finest people that anybody has known.
And the president uncharacteristically calling for patience and process to resolve the swirling questions.
I'd like to see a complete process. I'd like everybody to be very happy. Most importantly, I want the American people to be happy. And I think to do that, you have to go through this. If it takes a little delay, it'll take a little delay.
Kavanaugh's accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, a psychology professor in California. This is what she looked like in her high school yearbook in the early 1980s, around the time she says she was assaulted. She told her story in a July letter to Senator Dianne Feinstein and in an interview with the Washington Post. Kavanaugh and a friend of his, she claims, were stumbling drunk at a party and forced her into a bedroom. She alleges Kavanaugh pinned her to a bed and groped her. He was trying to attack me and remove my clothing, she says. I thought he might inadvertently kill me. And she told the Post when she tried to scream, he put his hand over her mouth to muffle her. She says she managed to escape. Kavanaugh issued a categorical denial. This is a completely false allegation. I have never done anything like what the accuser describes to her or to anyone. And in a phone call with Republican Senator Orrin Hatch, he went further.
What did he say to you?
Well, he didn't do that. And he wasn't at the party. So, there's clearly somebody's mixed up.
In his confirmation, Kavanaugh was asked about his high school years, a softball question that now seems weirdly on point.
Did you ever get in trouble? Were you more of a John Boy Walton type or a Ferris Bueller type?
I love sports. First and foremost, I think that I worked hard at school. I had a lot of friends. I've talked a lot about my friends.
Yeah.
And they've been here. So it was very formative. And when I think back on it,
you left out the trouble part. I was waiting for that.
Right. So that's encompassed under the friends, I think. Yeah.
Now, Christine Blasey Ford's lawyer, Deborah Katz, says her client is ready to testify.
She's willing to cooperate. What she's not willing to do is to be part of this bloodletting that happens in Washington.
And Terry Moran with us live tonight from the White House. Terry, Judge Kavanaugh said he's ready to testify late today, and this hearing with the accuser as well will be next Monday.
That's right, David. Next Monday, the accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, and Judge Kavanaugh in the Senate. Judge Kavanaugh was here all day at the White House, and they issued a statement at the end of the day where he said he is ready to defend his name and testify. David?
Terry Moran leading us off tonight. Terry, thank you. And of course, there is so much at stake for the court, for the American people, and for both parties. And what will a handful of key senators now do? 3 Democrats up for election in red states, states that President Trump won. Heidi Heitkamp, Joe Donnelly, Joe Manchin. Will they support Kavanaugh? And 2 Republican women, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins. Overnight, Collins was followed through the airport by reporters and cameras, and so many senators were pressed all day today. Where do they stand on the accusations and on what should happen next? Mary Bruce on the Hill asking the questions tonight.
For 24 hours, the pressure has been building on Republican senators like Susan Collins. All eyes on her as she arrived back in Washington, saying she had read the letter by Brett Kavanaugh's accuser.
I did read the letter last week and asked the judge in a telephone conversation on Friday about it, and he was very emphatic in his denial.
Today, Collins became the first Republican to call for Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford to appear on Capitol Hill, tweeting they should both testify under oath before the Judiciary Committee. Later, Collins swarmed by reporters.
If this continues to be a he said, she said, is the allegation disqualifying? How do you adjudicate something that's almost 40 years old?
Well, that's why it's important that there be a very thorough interview and that we see both individuals respond to the allegations. There are an awful lot of questions, inconsistencies, gaps. Obviously, if Judge Kavanaugh has lied about what happened, that would be disqualifying.
Collins and her Republican colleague Lisa Murkowski of Alaska will be crucial votes, but a number of Democrats running for re-election in states President Trump won are also under enormous pressure. Today, one of them, Senator Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota, tweeting, "We need to respect Professor Ford by listening to her and hearing her story." Tonight, a growing number of Republicans want to hear from her too.
Do not at least hear the person out before it's voted out of committee is very problematic.
And Mary Bruce, just minutes ago, that news of a hearing now, Judge Kavanaugh and the accuser, and the American people will hear from both of them a week from today. And those senators you spoke with today facing real pressure now from constituents on both sides watching this very closely.
David, the pressure is tremendous, and now we've learned that both Kavanaugh and Ford, the accuser and the accused, will both appear before the same panel on the same day, one right after another. Tonight, the Republican chairman of that committee saying anyone who comes forward, as Dr. Ford has done, deserves to be heard. David. And
Mary, on a personal note, Mary is a new mom, and it is great to have you back. Not a moment too soon, Mary.
Thank you.
We're going to turn on now to other news and to the developing story on Florence, still wreaking havoc as we're on the air tonight. Deadly tornadoes late today. In fact, a tornado near Richmond, Virginia, ripping off rooftops and taking one life, while in the floods devastating North Carolina at this hour. The high water too much for this military vehicle right here. 4 people, including a Marine, were rescued. It was a remarkable scene. ABC's chief national affairs correspondent Tom Llamas with the story behind that moment and the tornadoes just touching down. He's outside Wilmington, North Carolina tonight.
Tonight, Florence's deadly march inland, triggering tornadoes near Richmond, Virginia, ripping through the center of town, shearing the roof off this building. Debris flying through the air. Officials say at least 1 person killed.
I know it might be a little scary, but we got you. We're going to take care of you, okay?
A Coast Guard chopper hoisting out this woman in need of medical attention. Our station WTVD right there when 4 people, including a Marine, had to be rescued from their Humvee. The water so deep, they had to dive for their belongings. Dams bursting, this freight train derailing, and the bridge under this tractor trailer giving way. And now the city of Wilmington virtually cut off. We tried getting there from the south.
This is Highway 17. We're just 15 miles from Wilmington, but it is impossible to drive into Wilmington from the south, and you can see why. There's water as far as the eye can see.
This man looking for gas, forced to crawl along a railing because of a road collapse. Also stranded by the waters, Charles Lundy, pleading for help.
Anything you want to say to people who are watching this, government officials?
If you could get some food down here, even some MREs, it would be nice.
Inside Wilmington, long lines for supplies.
Yep, close to 2 hours, so we don't want to give up now.
Many saying they have not seen any disaster assistance teams in their neighborhoods.
Yeah, it looks like the water's still flowing over here.
And from the air, in some parts, devastation everywhere you look. Our Eva Pilgrim, flying with Customs and Border Protection.
You can see a lot of the rivers are very much swollen.
Record-breaking flooding in the town of Chinquapin, that church surrounded by water. And outside of Charlotte, tragedy. Officials finding the body of a child, just a year old. His name, Caden Lee Welsh.
You know, this mama has suffered tragically.
The toddler swept away by floodwaters after the car he was in got pinned against trees. Caden's mother able to free him from his car seat, but lost her grip as they tried to escape.
Just a horrific accident there in Charlotte, and there is another crisis unfolding at this hour. There are towns and cities like Wilmington virtually being cut off because of all this water. And even when that water recedes, they still have to check those highways. We have seen road collapses all over this area. David?
Just a devastating scene everywhere you look. Tom Llamas, our thanks to you again tonight. And let's get right to Ginger Zee, who was with us for days in the hurricane. And now there are watches tonight all the way up through New York and New England because of what's left of Florence. Ginger?
And tonight here in Washington, D.C., we have a tornado watch and a flash flood watch. But let me take you to the maps because what's left of Florence is really creating quite a few problems. Those cells moving north and east have already had at least 10 reported tornadoes, and those all near Richmond. Tonight, Maryland is in the tornado watch as well. The flash flood watch goes through central Pennsylvania, up through western New York, and even Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut, because tomorrow we could pick up anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of rain. After a super saturated summer, rivers and creeks from the mid-Atlantic to the northeast can't handle that, David.
Ginger Zee with us again tonight. Thank you, Ginger. And next this evening, unanswered questions in that deadly outbreak of home explosions in Massachusetts. Some 5,000 families in 3 towns outside Boston returning home tonight after the series of blasts caused 80 homes to catch fire, destroying 12 of them and killing an 18-year-old. The NTSB confirming tonight a spike in gas pressure was the cause, but the utility company says they didn't cause it. Many residents tonight saying they still do not feel safe. And to the breaking news from the White House tonight, President Trump taking the unprecedented step of declassifying documents having to do with the Russia investigation from people he believes are biased against him. The documents include text messages of fired FBI Director James Comey and from Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, those 2 former FBI officials who wrote negative messages about Donald Trump when he was a candidate for president. We turn next tonight here, and for the first time in more than 25 years, Woody Allen's wife, Soon-Yi Previn, breaking her silence about their relationship. It's made headlines for years. And tonight, new allegations against her adoptive mother, Mia Farrow. And tonight, many of Farrow's other children are defending their mother. Here's ABC's Ariel Reshef.
The story rocked a family and made tabloid headlines. Director Woody Allen caught in a relationship with the 21-year-old adopted daughter of his longtime partner, Mia Farrow. 26 years later, Soon-Yi Previn is breaking her silence in an explosive interview with New York Magazine, saying Farrow emotionally and physically abused her, including slapping her across the face and spanking her with a hairbrush and calling her stupid and moronic. But Previn adds, "I was never interested in writing a mommy dearest, getting even with Mia, none of that." She's also defending her husband of 20 years against allegations he molested Farrow's then 7-year-old daughter, Dylan. Allen was never charged and has always denied the allegations.
He's lying, and he's been lying for so long.
Previn telling the magazine what's happened to Woody is so upsetting, so unjust. Mia has taken advantage of the Me Too movement and paraded Dylan as a victim. In the piece, the author acknowledging she's a longtime friend of Woody Allen. Tonight, 7 of Farrow's 9 children are standing with their mother, including son Ronan, whose investigative reporting helped spark the Me Too movement. Ronan Farrow calling his mother a devoted mom who created a loving home, adding, "But that has never stopped Woody Allen and his allies from planting stories that attack and vilify my mother to deflect from my sister's credible allegation of abuse."
And Dylan Farrow, who came out with allegations against Woody Allen, tells ABC News no one is parading her around as a victim, and she slams the magazine for what she calls a one-sided piece. And David, the magazine says this is Previn's chance to tell her story.
All right, Ariel Reshef with us tonight. Ariel, thank you. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Monday, that deadly shark attack off Cape Cod. What we've now learned tonight about the victim engaged to be